Two names, one debate, an entire generation divided. Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi? On paper, it's a football question. In reality, it's something deeper. It's about work ethic versus talent, discipline versus instinct, power versus finesse. One grew from rejection, the other from rare brilliance. But both became living legends. And yet in every school, every locker room, every dinner table, the same question echoes: who's better? But before we answer that, let's ask something more important. Why does this debate even matter? Because these two men didn't just play football, they shaped lives. They weren't just sportsmen, they became symbols. One of relentless grit, the other of effortless genius. And in their own way, both taught us about something more than the game. What it takes to rise. This isn't just about who scored more goals or won more trophies. This is about how millions found hope, belief, and fire in the stories of two boys. One from Madeira, Portugal, the other from Rosario, Argentina. In this video, we're not choosing sides. We're celebrating the duality that made this rivalry beautiful. This is not a war, it's a tribute. To the effort behind the elegance. To the sacrifice behind the spotlight. To the respect they showed each other when no one was watching. And to the silent truth no one wants to admit. Ronaldo needed Messi. Messi needed Ronaldo. Because only steel can sharpen steel. Let's begin. Let's rewind the clock. Before the stadium roars, the sponsorship deals, or the social media fame, there were two kids, two families, two impossible dreams. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on the small island of Madeira. His father was a kitman at a local club. His mother worked as a cook and cleaner to feed the family. Life was not generous, but Ronaldo was relentless. He left home at 12, moved to Lisbon alone, cried himself to sleep in a bunk bed dorm, and was bullied for his accent and body. But something in him refused to break. He trained harder than anyone. Every sprint, every shot, every rep. Done with a fury that came from knowing this. No one was coming to save him. Then there's Lionel Messi, born in Rosario, Argentina. By age 9, he was a magician with a ball. But there was a problem. He had a growth hormone deficiency. His family couldn't afford the expensive treatment. No local club would fund it. Until Barcelona saw a spark. Legend says his first contract was signed on a napkin in a restaurant. He was 13, shy, and barely spoke. He moved to Spain, quiet, reserved, unsure. But once the ball touched his feet, everything made sense. Now pause. What do you see here? Not just talent, not just hard work. You see pain fueling passion, adversity building ambition. You see two kids who had every excuse to quit, but didn't. One built like a warrior, the other, a silent artist. Yet both prove the same truth. It's not about where you start. It is about how far you're willing to go. And that's why millions followed them. Not just for the goals, but for the grind behind the greatness. Fast forward, now the world knows them. Ronaldo, the sculpted machine, all muscle, speed, and precision. A man who outworked genetics and reshaped himself through raw discipline. Messi, the silent genius, flowing like poetry in motion. He didn't overpower the game, he whispered to it, and it listened. Two different styles, two different personalities. Ronaldo is loud in his drive. He wants the world to know how hard he works. He lives by the mirror, the stopwatch, and the grind. Whether it's as training at midnight or scoring headers that defy gravity, he is a symbol of visible hunger. Messi is quiet in his brilliance. He lets his feet speak. He dribbles through chaos with the calm of a monk. You won't see him scream at the gym, but give him a moment, and he'll paint a masterpiece on the pitch. Now here's where it gets interesting. People often ask, who is better? But maybe that's not the right question. Maybe the real question is, who reflects your journey? Are you the Ronaldo fighting against odds with discipline and obsession? Or are you the Messi, quietly crafting your gift in silence, letting your work speak louder than your words? This debate is deeper than football. It's about identity. It's why fans get emotional, why comments turn into wars. Because it's not just about them, it's about us. We see ourselves in them. Their struggle becomes our inspiration. Their success gives us permission to believe. So when someone says, Ronaldo is better, or Messi is the GOAT, it's rarely about stats. It's about who they needed to believe in. And in that sense, both win. Let's rewind to the roots. To the boyhood chapters no one clapped for. Cristiano Ronaldo grew up in Madeira, Portugal. His family struggled. His father cleaned the locker rooms of the football club he trained at. Ronaldo cried when he left home for Sporting Lisbon at just 12 years old, alone. No money, no family, just ambition and a sleeping bag. Messi, born in Rosario, Argentina, his talent was obvious, but so was his medical condition, growth hormone deficiency. His body wasn't developing like other kids. His family couldn't afford the treatment. At one point, his dream was smaller than his height. Then, fate intervened. Barcelona offered to pay for Messi's treatment, but they were skeptical at first. The famous contract signed on a paper napkin during lunch, that napkin held the weight of history. Two beginnings, two battles. Ronaldo was chasing power, to become physically unstoppable. Messi was chasing time, hoping his body would hold long enough to showcase his gift. But they had one thing in common. They both kept showing up. Not every day was glorious. Ronaldo was mocked for his skinny legs and his flashy style. They said he was all steepovers and no substance. Many doubted he could survive physical football. Too small, they said, too fragile. Yet day after day, they kept showing up. Now pause and think. How many of us give up at the first setback? How many of us wait for permission to chase greatness? These two didn't wait. They trained when no one watched. They believed when no one clapped. And they endured when the world doubted them. So before we debate who's better, maybe we should first ask, are we willing to endure even 1% of what they did? Because greatness never arrives fully formed. It is built, day by day, in silence. In the rain, in the pain, with no guarantees. Ronaldo and Messi are not just names. They are reminders. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need the will to continue, and the courage to begin. Now let's talk about what made them unstoppable. And no, it's not just talent. Talent opens the door, but obsession keeps you in the room. Cristiano Ronaldo is a machine. Ask any teammate, he's always the last to leave training. He obsesses over every detail. Diet, sleep, gym, drills, recovery. Not to look good, but to win. He once said, if you think I'm too good, it's because I worked harder than you. Every single inch of his body is engineered for performance, not by nature, but by obsession. He doesn't drink alcohol, avoids sugar, sleeps early. Stretching, icing, breathing, all optimized. It's not just football for Ronaldo, it's a way of life. Messi, he's different. Less vocal, less flashy, but just as obsessed. His training is like meditation. You can't teach his dribbling. It's instinctive, like watching music in motion. But don't be fooled. Behind that calm demeanor is a killer's precision. He studies patterns. He knows exactly when to disappear into the defense, and then reappear in the perfect pocket of space. Boom. Goal. You see, Ronaldo is a sprinter with a lion's roar. Messi is a chess master with a magician's touch. One conquers with brute force and evolution. The other dominates with intuition and flow. But both of them, devoted to the game. That's where most people misunderstand success. They think it's about being naturally gifted, or lucky, or born into it. No. It's about what you do when no one's watching. It's about the reps, the rituals, the sacrifices. You know how many parties Ronaldo skipped? You know how many times Messi trained instead of sleeping in? Thousands. And that's the real comparison people forget to make. Not just who scored more, not just who has more trophies. But who are you when no one's clapping yet? Can you love the process like they do? Because that's the price of greatness. You either pay it, or you cheer for someone who did. Now let us step outside the stadium, because greatness doesn't end at the final whistle. Both Messi and Ronaldo didn't just become players, they became symbols. Ronaldo represents power, self-belief, and transformation. The skinny kid from Madeira who built himself into a global brand, not just through goals, but by turning every critic into fuel. He speaks multiple languages, built a fitness empire, signed billion-dollar deals. And yes, the CR7 brand, that's a marketing masterclass in itself. He once said, "Your love makes me strong. Your hate makes me unstoppable." That's not arrogance, that's armor. Ronaldo's message to the world, you don't have to be born the best, you can become it. Messi, on the other hand, is purity, grace, and quiet genius. He didn't chase the spotlight chased him. Where Ronaldo is fire, Messi is water. No flashy branding, no loud lifestyle, just football and family. His loyalty to Barcelona for over 2 decades, even when he could have left earlier for more money, showed who he was. Let's talk about legacy, because one day, the goals will stop. The trophies will collect dust. The stadiums will echo with new names, but the legacy, that stays. What Messi and Ronaldo have built goes far beyond football. It lives in the dreams of a generation. A kid in Nigeria copying Ronaldo's celebration after scoring on a dusty field. A boy in Argentina cutting his hair like Messi, hoping to dribble past life's problems. A girl in India watching them on YouTube, thinking, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's not fandom, that's inspiration. They've given people more than just matches to watch. They've given a reason to believe, and that belief stretches across continents, languages, and even conflicts. Think about this. Messi and Ronaldo fans might argue all day online, but during a goal, a moment of magic, silence falls. Even the opposing fans nod and say, that was world class. Because in the end, real greatness is undeniable. It breaks past biases. It silences noise. Let's flip the lens now, away from the footballers, and onto us, the fans. Why are we so obsessed with choosing one? Why does the internet flood with Ronaldo greater than Messi, or Messi greater than Ronaldo every time they play? Is it just football? Or is it something deeper? Here's a theory. We don't just watch these legends, we project onto them. Ronaldo represents the grind, the early mornings, the gym, the mindset of, if I don't work harder than everyone else, I'll lose. He's the underdog who forced the world to respect him. Messi represents pure talent. The silent genius, the artist who makes it look effortless, the one who never screamed, but still silenced stadiums. He's the prodigy who stayed humble, even when the world bowed. And so, depending on who we are, we see ourselves in one of them. The kid who had to fight for every chance? He sees Ronaldo and feels understood. The quiet one who's always been underestimated. He watches Messi and feels seen. It's not just sport anymore, it's identity. But here's the danger. We take that identification and turn it into division. We argue in comment sections. Let's take a step into the locker room. Not during a game, but after the final whistle, when the crowd is gone and the spotlight is off. Because behind the trophies, press conferences, and online debates, there's something very few fans see. The respect between Messi and Ronaldo. Yes, respect. The kind that can only be forged in fire, over decades of competition, criticism, and impossible standards. You know what's wild? Despite the media hype, despite fans trying to paint them as enemies, they never trashed each other. Never a cheap shot, never a personal insult. Not once did they use their rivalry to fuel hate. In fact, they often praised each other. In interviews, Messi has said, "Ronaldo is a phenomenal player. He's been at the top for many years." And Ronaldo, "I have a great professional relationship with Messi. I respect what he's done for football." Now ask yourself, if they can respect each other, why can't we? What if the real greatness isn't just in how they play, but in how they carry themselves off the pitch? This is where we zoom out again into real life. Think about your own rivals. At work, in school, in business, on social media. How often do we feel threatened by someone else's success? We scroll, we compare, we envy. We start rooting for others to fail, just so we feel more secure. But now let's shift focus from the individual to the collective. Because the Messi versus Ronaldo debate didn't just shape football, it reshaped fans, cultures, and even platforms. Think about it. From 2010 onward, how many barbershops, buses, classrooms, dorm rooms, and dinner tables echoed with the same question. Bro, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? And just like that, people picked sides. Team C, Team Ronaldo. It became more than football. It became identity. You weren't just choosing a player. You were choosing elegance or intensity, flow or power, vision or obsession, natural-born talent or relentless self-made discipline. That's the beauty of it. Each fan didn't just admire skill. They saw a mirror of themselves. Some saw Messi and thought, he's calm. He doesn't talk much. He lets his craft speak. That's me. Others saw Ronaldo and said, he's fierce. He outworks everyone. He wants to be number one. That's me. This rivalry became emotional, personal, not just stats and goals, values and vibes. And here's the twist. In doing that, Messi and Ronaldo unknowingly taught millions about self-reflection. It sounds crazy, right? But consider this. A Messi fan might realize they're drawn to grace, subtlety, and quiet dominance. A Ronaldo fan might realize they crave intensity, hunger, and visible ambition. But let's zoom out even more. This rivalry didn't stay confined to stadiums or scoreboards. It spilled into YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp groups, and even school debates across the world. When Messi scored a hat-trick, viral. When Ronaldo hit a bicycle kick, history. When one broke a record, the other responded, and the world watched, clicked, shared, argued, cried, celebrated. What other rivalry in modern sports has lasted this long, with this much heat and respect? None. That's what made it special. There was no actual hate between the two. Let's break a myth right here. Messi never said Ronaldo was arrogant. Ronaldo never said Messi was overrated. Instead, they showed something rare in competitive greatness: mutual admiration. Messi once said in an interview, "Cristiano is an extraordinary player. I've said it several times," and Ronaldo, he replied, "We've shared the stage for 15 years. I don't see him as a rival, but as someone who made me better." Pause. Read that again. Someone who made me better. That line hits different, because it reflects something deeper. In life, the best competition isn't war, it's fuel. You don't want your rival to fail. You want them to rise, so you rise even higher. And that's what they did. Messi didn't try to be Ronaldo. Ronaldo didn't try to be Messi. They mastered themselves, while constantly being aware of the other. Imagine how hard that is. Every week for 10 years, they were Now let's go deeper. Beyond trophies, goals, and fan wars. What truly separates them is philosophy. Messi is instinct. Ronaldo is intention. Messi plays like music. He flows, improvises, dances with the ball like he was born with it, stitched to his feet. His movement is effortless. His vision, surgical. It's as if the ball follows his will. Ronaldo, on the other hand, is an engineered weapon, built through repetition, sweat, and relentless obsession. Every sprint, header, and strike is a product of extreme discipline. Messi is the poet. Ronaldo is the warrior. And yet, both reached the same summit. Different roads, same peak. That's a lesson most people miss. In a world obsessed with the right path, these two remind us there isn't just one way to greatness. You can be quiet like Messi, loud like Ronaldo, spiritual like Messi, competitive like Ronaldo, and still become a legend. Because greatness isn't a personality trait, it's a commitment. Let's not forget, Both of them came from nothing. Messi, with a hormone deficiency that almost ended his career before it began, moved across continents as a child, silent, small, and scared. But he never gave up. Ronaldo, from the islands of Madeira, running hills, leaving home at 12 crying alone in dorm rooms, mocked for his accent. But he never gave up. Let's shift focus. From Messi and Ronaldo as players, to Messi and Ronaldo as symbols. Because that's what they've become now. More than athletes. More than entertainers, they're movements. Messi represents the dreamer. The kid who's quiet in class, but draws galaxies in notebooks. He reminds us that you don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to deliver. He is the power of natural genius, nurtured in silence. He speaks through passes, through dribbles, through calm leadership. He doesn't sell you a lifestyle. He shows you that humility and brilliance can coexist. Now look at Ronaldo. He's the builder, the embodiment of self-made excellence. He reminds you that your background doesn't define you, your habits do. He sells ambition, raw, unapologetic, relentless. He's the guy who wakes up at 4 a.m. to train while the world sleeps. The man who turned talent into a system. And when you place them side by side, what do you see? Messi, the artist? Ronaldo, the architect? Messi shows what it looks like to let the game flow through you. Ronaldo shows what it looks like to command the game with discipline. Yet here's the secret that unites them. Both believed when others didn't. Both kept going when it hurt. Both sacrificed youth for greatness. And because of that, both earned the right to inspire the world. Now think about their impact on you. Have you ever worked in silence, like Messi? Have you ever pushed yourself past comfort, like Ronaldo? If yes, then their legacy already lives within you. That's why this video exists. Not to argue over who's better, but to show how both of them represent different sides of what makes humans extraordinary. You don't have to be Messi or Ronaldo. You can be you, a version of yourself that learns from both. Be graceful like Messi, be driven like Ronaldo, build in silence, shine in public, stay humble, stay hungry, and most importantly, respect the journey. Because once the jerseys are off and the boots are hung, what will matter most is the character they left behind, and the character you chose to build because of them. Now let's zoom out, beyond football, beyond trophies, and into culture. Because Messi and Ronaldo didn't just break records, they broke mental barriers for millions around the world. For a kid in Lagos with no shoes, Ronaldo said, "Discipline can rewrite your destiny." For a child in Rosario with a hormone condition, Messi showed, "Don't let limits stop your flow. Let your flow erase the limits." Across continents, these two names became more than posters on walls. They became mindsets. In India, a barber hangs their photos not just because he's a fan, but because their work ethic speaks louder than any language. In Indonesia, a group of teenagers practice bicycle kicks on dusty fields, imagining one day, they too could rise from nowhere. In Brazil, a Messi fan shakes hands with a Ronaldo fan, because greatness recognizes greatness. That's the magic here. Even though fans often argue, Ronaldo and Messi never tried to compete, they just kept climbing. And in doing so, they lifted each other. You see, without Ronaldo would Messi have pushed so far? And without Messi, would Ronaldo have trained so obsessively? They were never enemies. They were co-creators of the golden era, rivals on paper, but allies in evolution. Now, look at your own journey. Do you have someone who pushes you without even knowing it? A silent rival that keeps you. But let's take it even deeper, because Ronaldo and Messi aren't just athletes. They are symbols of two very different paths to mastery. Cristiano Ronaldo, the embodiment of raw willpower. Built, not born. Every muscle earned, every inch conquered, every doubt crushed. His story screams, no one is coming to save you, you build your own legend. Messi, the embodiment of effortless flow. Silent, surgical, instinctive. It's like he doesn't play the game plays through him. His journey whispers, trust your gift, let your truth guide your feet. And in this contrast, there's a lesson for every human being. Are you someone who thrives through relentless effort, pushing your limits like Ronaldo? Or do you channel your strength through inner calm and intuition, like Messi? Either path is valid, either path is powerful. Because greatness is not a formula, it's a frequency. And both these men tuned into theirs, fully. Now, think about this in your own life. You might be in a small room right now, chasing a dream no one believes in. You might be building something in silence, with no one clapping. That's okay, because Messi was overlooked due to his size. Ronaldo was doubted for being too flashy, too obsessed, and yet, Now let's talk about the fans. Because this isn't just a comparison of two players, it's a reflection of two mindsets. And sometimes, the loudest battles aren't on the field, they're in the comments section. Ronaldo is better. No, Messi is the GOAT. Endless arguments, heated debates, as if loving one means disrespecting the other. But here's the truth, and it might surprise you. Ronaldo respects Messi, Messi respects Ronaldo. They've both said it, they've both shown it. Two men at the top of the world. And still, no hate, just respect. That should tell us something. Because when the players themselves aren't fighting, why are the fans so divided? We've turned admiration into competition, support into ego, and passion into a battlefield. But what if we flipped the script? What if Messi fans learned from Ronaldo's insane discipline, and Ronaldo fans learned from Messi's calm consistency? What if we stopped asking, who's better, and started asking, what can I learn from both? Imagine the growth, the mindset shift, the unity, because whether you're dribbling on a football pitch, or navigating life, business, or dreams, you need both. The fire to push when no one believes in you. Let us take a deeper look at what truly separates greatness from mediocrity. And it's not just talent. Ronaldo and Messi didn't become icons because they were born to be. They became icons because they chose to be. Again and again, every single day. Let's rewind the clock. Ronaldo, a skinny kid from Madeira, Portugal, poor, far from the spotlight. He used to cry when he missed his family after moving away to pursue football. Messi, diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency as a child, quiet, introverted, rejected by clubs that didn't want to pay for his treatment. They both had every excuse to quit, but they didn't. Why? Because deep inside, they both had this unexplainable fire, a decision to rise, no matter what. Messi let the ball do the talking. Ronaldo built an armor of unshakable confidence, different styles, same obsession. Think about your life now. Maybe you feel unseen. Maybe your dream feels too far. Maybe you're starting to think, maybe this isn't for me. But what if, just like them, your struggle isn't the end? What if it's the beginning? You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to. Now let's look at the fans, the people who fuel this rivalry. Ronaldo fans, Messi fans, each side defends their hero with the intensity of a loyal army. Social media erupts with debates after every match. Every goal, every assist, every missed chance becomes ammunition in the never-ending war of who is the GOAT. But here's a powerful truth. This rivalry didn't divide the world. It energized it. It made millions fall in love with football. It pulled in people who never watched a match before. It inspired kids in villages, cities, refugee camps to chase a ball and believe in their dreams. This rivalry is not about hate. It's about admiration, passion, and the beauty of competition. Even Ronaldo and Messi themselves never disrespected each other. They've praised each other multiple times. Messi once said, "Cristiano is an extraordinary player. He's one of the best of all time," Ronaldo said. "I have no doubt Messi has made me a better player, and I him." Read that again? The greatest rivalry in football history is built on mutual respect. Not insults, not fan wars, but growth through challenge. Isn't that what life is too? Sometimes the person who pushes you the hardest becomes the one you respect the most. Think about your own journey. Maybe there's something deeply human about watching two legends walk parallel paths. We saw Messi and Ronaldo rise, not as flawless gods, but as men who gave everything. They cried after losses, they missed penalties, they failed on the world's biggest stages, but they never gave up. Ronaldo, benched at the 2022 World Cup, still walked out with dignity. Messi, after multiple heartbreaks with Argentina, still came back and led his nation to glory. They both faced criticism, pressure, and the kind of scrutiny most of us can't imagine. But pressure doesn't break diamonds, it creates them. And through all the chaos, they kept showing up, training, scoring, leading. This is where the real message of this documentary lies. We're not here to tell you who's better. We're here to tell you this. You can be better, not better than them. Better than who you were yesterday. Because behind the fame, these two are reminders of something deeper. The power of discipline, the beauty of resilience, the gift of purpose. Messi didn't get where he is just because of talent. He stayed humble, kept improving, and let his game speak. Ronaldo didn't reach the top just by being gifted. He worked like a machine, obsessed with every detail, every inch of progress. Talent may start the engine, but obsession is what fuels the journey. As the world slowly moves on, as new stars rise and time shifts to a new era, one truth will remain. Messi and Ronaldo changed the game forever. Not just with goals, trophies, or viral moments, but with mindsets they left behind. Messi taught us grace, that you don't need to scream to be heard. That letting your work do the talking can echo louder than 1,000 words. Ronaldo taught us belief. That self-confidence isn't arrogance if it's backed by relentless effort. That even when the world doubts you, you can bet on yourself. For nearly 2 decades, fans around the globe were divided. Team Messi or Team Ronaldo. But now, maybe it's time we stop choosing sides. Because this was never about rivalry. It was about witnessing something rare: two masters pushing each other toward excellence. They made each other better. And in the process, they made us better. Better fans, better dreamers, better believers in the impossible. So the next time you see a child kicking a ball on a dusty field, or staying late after practice, or watching highlight reels late at night with stars in their eyes, remember, they're not just chasing football, they're chasing hope.